Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be giving my first impressions on Operation Harsh Doorstop, a new tactical shooter developed by Drakeling Labs under the guidance of Bluedrake42. As always, if you like my content, you already know what you need to do to that subscribe button. Now, let's get right into it. So what is Operation Harsh Doorstop exactly? Well, per the store page, it is a shooter sandbox with all the features a game should have, to include single-player missions, cooperative modes, multiplayer servers, and Steam Workshop support, all of which was available on day one of launch. Oh, and have I mentioned it's free? Honestly, for being a free game, I thought it would be a lot more bare bones than it is. For starters, the workshop and modding community is already hard at work making this game unrecognizable from its original design, with mods like Army Men and Halo already available, with maps included so you can really get into the action. Gameplay-wise, Harsh Doorstop is quite simple. It's the epitome of the hop on and stack bodies for 10 to 20 minutes type of game in single player. Alternatively, you can have a very slow, methodically tactical experience with other players online. The servers can be set up for players and bots alike, so even though there's only 5 players in the server, the rest of the slots will be filled with bots, so the server isn't dead. Let's talk about the bots, because holy shit, can they clock you from a ways away. Oftentimes, I don't have a clue what killed me, but most of the time it's because I'm off fucking around by myself and running around gunning like an idiot, so I won't fault the AI for my deaths. However, the AI accuracy at all ranges is a tad OP, and their situational awareness is kinda whack, because one guy will engage me, but then like 15 dudes from across the map will start lighting me up too. There's no way a guy in a bush on a hill a kilometer away knows where I am, because the guy I'm shooting in a completely different direction knows where I am too. So hopefully the accuracy gets smoothed out a little bit. Also, the AI goes absolutely apeshit with smoke grenades sometimes, which isn't a terrible thing because it helps conceal your location, but I also can't see shit to shoot anybody during large engagements and have to wait for the smoke to clear. However, it does make for some pretty frantic engagements at times, and it's honestly a lot of fun. The gunplay is pretty solid and honestly much better than I expected for a free game. The reload animations are really well done, and each weapon has a unique animation to watch, with differences in types of reloads depending on if your mag still has rounds in it or if you're doing a full combat reload. At launch, there are a good amount of weapons to choose from for each faction to keep you occupied for a while, but already we're seeing new faction packs hit the workshop with new roles and completely new weapons. As of right now, there's no weapon customization within the game, but I imagine that will also either come with a future official update or may even be modded in by the community. The weapons available for use vary depending on the faction you choose, and there are quite a few factions included from the start. As the server you create can be customized to your liking, you can have crazy battles of Cold War era US troops going up against the German army from World War II. Each faction can be played on every map. It's pretty hilarious to see World War I style troops fighting in deserts against modern day PMC troops. Like I said before, each faction comes with its own set of weapons, and while they are locked to their weapon by default, you can pick up other weapons on the ground from fallen enemies and allies if you happen to find a cool gun or run out of ammo. The sound design is also pretty good for this game, though if you're expecting Battlefield levels of Michael Bay explosions and bass, I'd say you need to manage your expectations a little better. As this is a free game, mostly everything about this game was funded from the development team Patreon. So what does that mean? Well, that means they had a lot smaller budget to work with, and considering how good the game looks and sounds for being free, I think they fucking nailed it. The snowball is definitely hurtling down the hill, and I'm sure within months, maybe even weeks, we'll have some of the first sound effect enhancement mods hitting the workshop. Let's talk about mods for a second. Bluedrake actually mentioned in a video a few months back that many of the modders are actually members of the dev team already. He also went on to say that the modders that drop absolute banger mods that completely change up an aspect of the gameplay and garner a lot of love from the community will be looked at by the dev team as a potential new dev team member and may be reached out to depending on how well their mod works and enhances the game. I don't think I've seen a community developed game done like this before, and I'm super excited to see where this one goes. So chances are, if you're watching this, you're probably a member of my community, which means you have a brain and possess the capability for critical and rational thought. You understand that this is a free game developed by a relatively small team on a tightly donated budget. Trying to shit on this game for not being the next Squad is a delusional take, if I'm being honest. That being said, I'm not going to try and dig up what I think are a bunch of negative aspects to the game. It's a small dev team that was community funded and created. It's clear by the reviews on Steam that way too many smooth brains out there thought this was going to be the next Squad on release or something. Instead, what I'm going to do is run down a quick list of things I hope make it into the first few updates to the game. First, the AI being practically aimbots. Maybe it's a skill issue on my end, but I'm usually pretty damn good at most shooters, and I don't get clapped this much from across the map this often. So some customizable AI sliders built into the server startup would be an awesome thing to see. Second, when no one is firing, the game is dead-ass silent. Maybe some ambient distant explosions and machine gun fire akin to what Battlefield has done to help the world feel alive, even when you're just traversing from point to point, would be huge for immersion enhancement. And lastly, I'd love to see increased footstep sound effects. Even when the game is silent, I won't hear a dude running up on me until he's like 5 feet away. But that's really it. For a free game, Operation Harsh Doorstop is an absolute gem that I feel is going to take the sandbox shooter genre by storm. And I bet within a year, the community will make this game unrecognizable from its launch. Well guys, thank you again for joining me today. This is all I really had on Operation Harsh Doorstop. It's been a crazy launch for this game. Bluedrake, congratulations for a very successful launch. Don't pay attention to those reviews, dude. You guys have an awesome game at your fingertips, and I'm really excited for what the community is going to build on this game going forward. As always, I want to say a huge shout out to my fucking legend of patrons. Thank you all so much for your continued support. I love each and every one of you. And I also want to thank you, the viewer, for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Every single thing you do on my video helps in some form or another. Commenting and engaging with me, liking, sharing, everything. It helps. Thank you all so much. And I will see you in the next video.